Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Advanced Hungarian. Because it's just not learn Hungarian anymore, it's advanced. But we still learn Hungarian. It's a bit confusing. Right, so first things first, remember you can go to Facebook and ask questions at facebook.com/Hungarian online, because there I usually do a sentence of the day, which is the short version of these videos, and then you can find me on any of those crazy things. So let's start with the sentence. Ezt nem hiszem el, már megint elrontottam. Exactly. I know what you're thinking. What a crazy sentence. But I give you the translation now, because you might just not get it right away. Who knows? But you're brilliant, I know. But this would be, I can't believe it, I screwed it up again. Although the use of present perfect is not exactly present in Hungarian. But let's analyze the sentence. So as you can see with the arrows, it's pretty straightforward, except the arrow that is with the whole dashes thingy, because the whole screwed it up again is exactly like the L, which is supposed to be a prefix, but in English it's part of the phrasal verb, if that makes sense. So just mind you, those are not equivalents, those are not translations, but the same crazy use in both languages. So English has phrasal verbs where you connect a verb with something else, and then Hungarian has prefixes and trying to change a little bit, alter the meaning of the verb, but then sometimes you put them after it. Why? Well, there is an explanation for that, but it's a little bit more complex, so probably it would take another hour or something to explain the whole thing. I just wanted to point it out that sometimes, just like with English and its phrasal verbs, you just have to learn things. It's probably the quicker way. But normally, when I try to teach or learn Hungarian, well, I already learned Hungarian. Anyways, my point is that when I try to do it with others as part of a lesson, then I usually try to come up with an explanation, a proper explanation with rules and stuff that are easy to follow. But sometimes, rarely, it just doesn't work. Anyways, so as you can see, hopefully it's all correct and you can crack this equation, sentence. Now, as always, it is time to examine the sentence and find all the proper endings. You might remember I mentioned the L as a suffix, but then it becomes a postfix or whatever you want to call it. But other than that, there are these other things. Now, as you can see, funnily enough, just for our own amusement, how can I go back out this way? Right, so just for our amusement, I used a sentence that has two L's in it. Now that's a very weird way of saying something. So the first one would be the L as the postfix that was a prefix before, and then on the other place, or on the other word, it's a proper prefix, just so you can see. And in this case, the particular reason to put it in the back is simply emphasis. That's the only reason. So because nem, the negation of the word or of the sentence, would require hiszem in a normal case, just so it would sound right, just so it would make absolute sense to us Hungarians, then we just remove the L because it would disturb our soul or something like that, and then just put it after the word. Isn't that fun? Anyways, so let's go over the attachments. L, as I mentioned, it is a prefix, or in that case is a postfix, and it means to go away if it's a motion, or go away, fly away, etc., or a completed action, along with another prefix called meg, M-E-G. That also means completed action. We use them interchangeably, well, almost, but most of the time, the reason why we would use L is simply because there is that certain motion in there that means it went away. I completed it and it kind of went away. So instead of saying megolvasom, which means I read it, although it's really not correct, we would say elolvasom, which means I read it properly. So I hope that makes sense. Of course, the prefixes are not too easy to just jump into and expect it to understand them after a day. You really have to get used to them. So I just wanted to mention that they exist. There is a limited amount. It basically be, ki, le, fel, meg, át, el, rá, ide, oda, szét, össze, vissza. 13. Very similar, the number is very similar to the English auxiliary verbs, like do, can, did, will, etc. And you just have to spend some time with them. So that's a group that you have to dedicate a certain amount of your time. Just like with conjugating the verbs, for instance. It doesn't come easy. Anyways, moving on. M. That is first person singular. So that is something that I would do. So, sorry, there you go. So hiszem, it's not just first person and singular, but it's also definite, which I forgot to write there. But I make mistakes. It's all to check whether you're paying attention or not. So if you found yourself screaming your lungs out towards the screen that, oh, Chris, you bloody forgot to write that thing there, then, well, there you go. That's what I wanted to check. Anyways, so ottam, which is, good lord. So first of all, it's third person, then singular, and it's also past tense. Lovely, isn't it? I mean, good lord, I really have to get used to this. Anyways, so ottam, elrontottam. Now, the reason I didn't put elrontott in there, it's because it's third person. So in this case, really, this is the entire attachment. Why not? Anyways, and of course, T is the object. Good lord. I'm sorry. I'm not going to record this again, so you have to wait until the next video so you see me getting used to this, because I just discovered a scroll wheel function. Yay! Anyways, so yeah, don't forget ever, just do not forget to put the T on the... Good lord, I forgot. I was just checking whether you would scream again. And if you screamed the object, then, well, there you go. You're right. You were right. Anyways, okay, let's go to the words. Right. So as meaning this, pretty easy. It's probably not the first time you've heard of it. Nem, again, not the first time, means no, or it is used with negation. And then L, which is in this case a separated prefix acting as a postfix or whatever, it means like something is done. And then mar, which means already, that would never, I mean, if you think about it, you would never put that into the English sentence. I've already screwed up again. That doesn't make sense at all. But in this case, in Hungarian, it does make sense because that is sort of how we would actually sort of use a sort of present perfecty thing. Right, and then again, which is megint, pretty easy. Ront, that is the root to make a mistake or ruin something. Now, if you think about it, it has a prefix, it has an attachment as the because you have to somehow say or put the subject in there, and you can't just put in, meaning I. And so after that, starting from the 4 letters, you end up with 1,000,000 letters, because that's lovely. And his, similarly to ront, it means believe. I mean, the similarity ends when you would say it has attachments. Right. Anyways, just not to confuse myself, let's go into what? All right. So I was wondering, really, for how many episodes, because this is the first time I notice it, for how many episodes have you seen conjugating instead of conjugating? I could say that's one of those Easter eggs I put in there, but honestly, no, I'm just making a fool out of myself. Anyways, conjugating verbs. His, hissem, he said, hissi, hissünk, hissitek, hiszik. There might be a mistake in there, there might not. Check it with Verbix, because that's fun. Right, ront, rontottam, rontottad, rontotta, rontottuk. There might be a mistake in there. Rontottátok, rontották. That really sounds like rántotta, which is the omelette in Hungarian. Well, anyways, so don't forget to check all the mistakes and correct me because, So if we take both of these sentences, or both parts of that complex sentence, the first one would be est nem hiszem el, meaning I do not believe this or cannot. And then the second one is már megint elrontottam. I've screwed up again, or I screwed it up again. In Hungarian, it's definite. In English, you do whatever you want. And that would be the end. Thank you very much for watching, and try to survive all the mistakes I make. And don't forget to come to these whatever website thingies. That usually helps. Well, mostly you, not me. I already speak Hungarian. And thank you very much for watching. Remember to be nice and good and like cows. Goodbye.